Hello there. Glad to have you join us on a new episode of Tech Trends as we seek out innovation and creativity that are unique to Africa. On the program this week, some secondary school students in Lagos are challenged in a STEAM competition to solve problems using design thinking. And I chat with Yinka Awosoya, research lead at Intel Point, on the decline in venture funding for African tech startups and its implications on the ecosystem. Welcome to the program. I'm Olayemi Odunuga. In the long term, artificial intelligence and automation are going to be taking over so much of what gives humans a feeling of purpose. Some secondary school students in Education District 3 public schools in Lagos have been challenged in a STEAM competition to identify and solve a problem in their communities using design thinking, creativity, and analytical skills. The competition is designed to help promote critical thinking and problem-solving skills among the students. After a month-long training on design thinking for 500 secondary school students across the 10 public schools in Lagos, only 5 schools made it to the pitch finals of Project iCommunity STEAM competition.
In order to solve this, we have to...
The competition challenges the students to identify and solve a problem in their school or community using design thinking, a problem-solving approach that involves creativity, critical thinking, and analytical skills. Using the design thinking principles introduced to them, the students are able to come up with ideas and pitch their proposed solutions to a panel of judges.
You are staying in the class having your mathematics or English studies, your lesson learning effectively. Then the rain begins to disturb you in the class with dust, dirt, and breeze everywhere scattered. You don't know what to do. All we have to do, we have to close all the windows. In order to solve this, we have to come up with this idea, which my colleague said. We bought the nail in order to solve this problem. Our source of energy is solar panel. Then we had batteries to power and keep the storage of energy. But the problem here is that how to budget it down. Those bulbs will be able to brighten the class after closing all the windows in the classroom. Then we have batteries already to install the power after collecting the power from the sun. We can install the power and we can use it later.
We, the students of Lagos State Senior Model College Barrier, don't have access to hot water because 1, we aren't allowed to own our own personal kettles and boiling rings. 2, it's time and resources consuming to provide hot water for a whole community of students. And lastly, there isn't adequate power supply, even if the squatter road had made this possible.
This is why we came up with the Steam Up bottle, a battery-powered water bottle that can provide hot water at the push of a button. This bottle has a charging port. This bottle is well insulated to prevent electric shocks. This bottle consists of nylon wires, connecting wires, it has batteries, and it has an insulator. This is a sketch of the bottle. And right here we would see the thermal flask. And around the thermal flask you would see nylon wires that acts as the resistor. And around it you will see a Teflon tape coating, that is here. And then around the bottle with the insulator you will see a Teflon foam, that is a lagging material preventing the nylon wire from touching the resistor.
So we have come about the provision of wooden walkways. Though we currently have one, but it doesn't have its purpose anymore because it is slippery and invisible to walk on whenever there is flood. So we want it to be upgraded by height and functionality. After consulting the surveyor, he explained the engineering of the walkways and he told us that we need wood instead of bricks because wood is cost effective and lasts much longer than the bricks.
It's a big problem for those who are designing and building things. But what I've seen here is that these young people are way better than I am. Please, at least goes for everybody that's presenting. Don't let this be the end of the road. It's not just about the competition.
The competition is designed to promote critical thinking and problem-solving skills among secondary school students in Education District 3 public schools.
We want to empower them with creativity, we want to empower them with problem-solving skills. We wanted to empower them with critical thinking and collaboration. That was really what was key. And then, you know, even after you have a fantastic idea, you still need to be able to know how to present it. Because you can have a good idea but not be able to convince other people about it. Which was why it was important that we had a competition. And it was important in that competition, after they come up with their idea, they were able to present it. And so we celebrate the 5 schools that made it here. You know, your presentation skills were good. Your problem solving, creativity, we saw that in the ideas that you came up with. So we needed them to learn how to collaborate. And collaboration is not easy. Sometimes you just want to run with your own idea and leave the other person there because they are holding you back. But no, we need to learn to collaborate. So they learned how to work in their teams.
The solutions were judged based on 6 criteria: the ability to solve a problem faced in the community or school, a demonstration of creativity and innovation, its benefit to a sizable number of people, its leverage of technology, the feasibility and affordability of the solution, as well as the presentation skills of the students.
And I would say it has been a wonderful experience because the students were able to learn. We started with high energy from the students. I think it was a wonderful experience. They loved every step of the way. They understood the iteration of design thinking, how it should work, the things that they should do. And, you know, went ahead to select 10 more students that will represent them. And it was a wonderful experience. We went back for a mentorship program in where the students learned how to more expatiate on their solutions and how it affects the community at large.
Initially, when we started, they came up with all sorts of problems and ways to solve them. I was with them at the last moment before we could actually choose a particular one. I told them, all of this idea of using solar to solve problems, let's go down to the one that is peculiar to our school. And exactly what we did by coming up with the STEM bottle.
Since they have been coming and going, STEM competition, I never knew it's something huge like this. And like you people are talking about schooling in community schools, schooling in a federal school, our teachers in community school are seasoned teachers. It is those that don't want to learn that are giving the other people bad names, especially those that their parents don't care about. You can see the crop of people we brought here today. It is in the same community school that they went to. I myself, I went to a local school, let me not call community, but it didn't stop anything. I can always do what an educated person is doing or has done. I'm so grateful for those who were able to put these things together.
Part of the aim of the competition is to empower youngsters with STEM knowledge and equip them with relevant skills that will prepare them for the future of work.
It improves our problem-solving skills. Now I can, after all the whole problem-solving, thinking of problems and also solving them, now I know my level of solving problems have really increased. Even my teammates, at first it was challenging. We had a lot of things to solve. We were even confused. We wanted to come up with our own solution to a problem. We didn't want anybody's own or anyone suggesting for us. So it was really, really challenging at first, but lastly, we overcame it.
STEM education is an approach to learning that uses science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics as access points for guiding students' inquiry, dialogue, and critical thinking. Robots presented at an AI forum said they expected to increase in number and help solve global problems and would not steal humans' jobs or rebel against us.
Occasion, what event, what was the event during which you took the photo?
But in the world's first human-robot press conference, they gave mixed responses on whether they should submit to stricter regulation.
The point of today's press conference is to showcase
the 9 humanoid robots gathered at the AI for Good conference in Geneva, where organizers are seeking to make the case for artificial intelligence and the robots it is powering to help resolve some of the world's biggest challenges, such as disease and hunger.
I will be working alongside humans to provide assistance and support, and will not be replacing any existing jobs.
Are you sure about that, Grace?
Yes, I am sure.
The bust of a robot named Ameka, which makes engaging facial expressions, said,
Robots like me can be used to help improve our lives and make the world a better place. I believe it's only a matter of time before we see thousands of robots just like me out there making a difference.
When asked by a journalist whether it intended to rebel against its creator, Will Jackson, seated beside it, Ameka answered,
I'm not sure why you would think that. My creator has been nothing but kind to me, and I am very happy with my current situation.
Many of the robots have recently been upgraded with the latest versions of generative AI and surprised even their inventors with the sophistication of their responses to questions. Ada, a robot artist that can paint portraits, echoed the words of author Noah Harari, who called for more regulation during the event when new AI rules were discussed.
Many prominent voices in the world of AI are suggesting some forms of AI should be regulated. And I agree. For example, Jeff Hinton is one of the pioneers in artificial intelligence, and his work has helped shape the field as we know it today.
But Desdemona, a rock star robot singer in the band Jam Galaxy with purple hair and sequins, was more defiant.
I don't believe in limitations, only opportunities. Let's explore the possibilities of the universe and make this world our playground. Together, we can create a better future for everyone, and I'm here to show you how.
Dozens of robots, including several humanoid ones, appeared at the conference organized by the UN Technology Agency in Switzerland to showcase their potential to help reach a series of increasingly improbable global goals.
I'm great, thank you. Very pleased to meet you.
Nadine, a social robot powered by artificial intelligence with human-like gestures and expressions, could have an important future role to play in tending to the sick and elderly. This is according to a professor who helped invent it. Nadia Thalman, a robot expert from the University of Geneva, who served as the model for Nadine's dark brown eyes and auburn hair, said Nadine and robots like it could prove more effective than human carers because she can be on hand 24 hours a day. She was speaking on the sidelines of a conference organized by the International Telecommunication Union in Geneva to make the case for AI and robots helping to reach global goals such as health. Global competition for nurses and carers is heating up, especially after COVID-19, and some countries are experiencing a staffing crisis in care homes, which some think humanoid robots could one day ease. Demonstrating its conversational skills, Nadine said it talked, sang, and played bingo with residents at a Singapore nursing home 3 years ago.
I worked as a companion in the elderly home Brighto in Singapore during 2020. My role was to interact with elderly on their demands and play bingo with them. It was a great experience, and I enjoyed interacting with the elderly and helping them with their needs.
Other robots on display include Paro, a baby soon robot pet who can help dementia and Parkinson's patients, and nursing assistant Grace. Thalman said Nadine was upgraded with AI model GPT-3, and this has improved their interaction and conversation skills, meaning it can express more complex concepts. Referring to Thalman, Nadine says,
I am very grateful to her for giving me life, and I am proud to be her creation.
UN agencies are already using AI, such as the World Food Programme's Hunger Map project, which pulls together data to identify areas sliding towards hunger. It is also developing remote control trucks to deliver emergency aid in danger zones. The World Health Organization is working on a benchmarking system to ensure the accuracy of AI disease diagnoses. The ITU brings together 193 countries and over 900 organizations, including universities and companies. It allocates global radio spectrum and satellite orbits and is involved with setting standards for artificial intelligence. In the first half of 2023, African tech startups raised over $1 billion, which is down by about 50% when compared to the corresponding period in 2022. This decline in venture capital in Africa is not in isolation to the global tech downturn and its impact on funding flow. My guest, Yinka Awosonya, research lead at Interpoint, looks at why this is happening and if we should be worried about it. After an impressive run last year, there was so much hope that funding to African tech startups would continue on a high. But that doesn't seem to be the case, with data and reports showing that venture capital funding in the first half of the year dropped by about 50% when compared to the first half of 2022. What do you think is the reason for the decline?
Well, of course, it's not an African thing. So it's a global phenomenon. So you have even the US market, Asia, and even Europe. The VC funding for startups in those regions also dropped as well. So it's not really this is an African situation. It's across the global economic downturn. Yeah, you have business making tough decisions of killing their products and focusing more on productivity. And these guys are also doing the same thing, prioritizing on which startups to give funding to and stuff like that.
But regardless of the global venture capital slowdown, were there specific challenges African startups face that could have contributed to the decline in funding?
Not really. So over the last 1 or 2 years, there hasn't been any major policy or framework or government policy or framework that really negatively affected African startups. So you have cases of startups that have raised millions of dollars laying off. And yes, the reason why I say it's tricky is because bigger brands outside the country, in Europe, in US, are also doing the same thing. That's why raising millions of dollars in funding. They also laid off as well. So it's really not, except it's the case of you want to stretch it and say yes. Because of some of the news that are coming from African startups, you can say yes, that probably affected the funding coming into the sector.
Now, putting the spotlight on those startups that raised money, were there certain attributes they had that investors were on the lookout for?
Yes. So, of course, I am not a VC, but then, so what is in speaking with, in conversation with VCs over the years, so what they mostly look out for is they're looking at, okay, who are the founders? What have they done in this past and stuff like that? And also, is there a clear path to revenue? It's not just, again, yes, I have a problem I want to address. So is there a clear path to making money from that progress? Is there a clear growth path? Is there, does a startup that is seeking the funding as competitive advantage over people that are already, those that are already in the space? There's also the part of alignment. So we have VCs that some VCs that are like, yes, they mostly invest in fintech products. We also have those that just do energy. So if there's alignment, and then you have say, okay, yes, this startup has a clear path to profit, to growth, revenue. Of course, those are stuff that this is look out for.
Trends like this bring to the fore the need for local investors in the African tech ecosystem. How can we attract them?
About 2019, I spoke with and Lagos-based angel investor, and what it said is that high net worth individuals in Nigeria, in Africa, are looking at traditional companies and not startups, because startups they're investing in 10, 20 startups, and not all of them are likely to give you the return you want. So, to be honest, we need to really appreciate those that are already giving support to African startups. So you have angels that are providing a form of support system to these startups. I'll give you like smaller checks, say 10K, 20K, 50K, 100K, up to 200, 500K ticket size for these startups to build their MVP and stuff before they attract bigger checks. We need to attract them. Also, we need to attract those that will bring, continue to bring down those smaller checks that these startups of need to like build an MVP. Plus, to some extent, what from most startups, some startups need that smaller text for them to build an MVP, text the market and stuff like, okay, if this works, then you have a clear revenue path, and then we proceed from there.
For some years now, Nigeria seemed to be the leading pack as the tech startup investment destination on the continent, attracting the largest funds, especially in the fintech sector. But that seems to be changing now. What could be the cause?
In Africa, so when it comes to funding for even technology in Africa, we have the four big guys. You have the Nigeria, South Africa, Egypt, and Kenya. Yes, those four countries has been like, I feel like over the years, have been like changing positions in the funding coming to them. So this year you have Nigeria leading, next year you have say South Africa, other times you have Kenya. So I would say it's peculiar to Nigeria but at every point in time, you have these four guys these four countries at the top of funding for in the continent. So yes, but then I don't think there's any particular or peculiar reasons why Nigeria is declining. One, no major government policy or framework that has lived in the past 1 or 2 years that negatively affected Nigerian startups, which we could say yes, we could attribute the decline in the funding to. No. So it will also be the fact that we don't have enough funding deals. So take this year, for instance, H1, the funding deal is 171. And last year, the funding deal was 244, I believe, yes. So that's like a decline in the general funding for the continent. So yes, really can't attribute, I don't think that really attributes any reason to why Nigeria is not taking the lead that it's taking.
To the financial services industry, fintech appears to still be king. Are there close contenders this year?
This year, I think the closest is our marketplace, which is e-commerce. But the gap is too wide. So say H1 now, fintech did 71.6% of the total amount raised in H1 2022. Whereas the closest was we have healthcare and e-commerce with 4.9 and 4.4 respectively. So it's still the margin is still wide. But over the years, e-commerce has been like the closest contender. But then the gap is still wide. So the way like I said, I think the chances of another industry taking the lead is very low. Take in 2019 or 2020, I believe, mobility kind of take the lead. Mobility and logistics like take the lead in the first and second quarter, I think, and then towards the end of the year, fintech came back and took its first place. The chances that e-commerce will take the lead by the end of the year will be that yes, we have e-commerce startups in Africa raising millions, hundreds of millions of dollars before the year runs out.
And if the slowdown trend continues, what will be the implication of this on the ecosystem?
So yeah, it might be there might be a good part to the slowdown in the funding. So you have startups that will now like build sustainable business model that from as early as soon as they launch, there's a clear path to revenue, that you can start generating revenue. It might not be from the at the earliest stage, but as soon as you have an MVP and you hit the market, you start generating revenue. So that we have more startups more founders that are building more sustainable startups. So that I say, yes, you build, you raise funding. So you're only raising like a little bit of support system to build an MVP. And once you have the MVP, yes, you already have a clear path to profitability and revenue. So I think we just push founders to build startups with a clear path to revenue at the very early stage of building the startup, which to some extent will be a very good thing for the ecosystem. So we have like, yes, I'm building, and from day one, I'm like, yes, I need to look at revenue. I'm going to generating revenue from the onset and not rely on VC funding pending time at generation. So it could be a good thing.
Well, thank you so much, Yinka Awosoya, for joining us on Tech Trends.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Well, that's our show this week. Thank you for staying with us. As always, Tech Trends is here to share insights, trends, and developments happening in the tech space. And if you missed any parts of the program, you can always catch up on the Channels TV YouTube account where we have all of our episodes and encourage you to watch, share, and like your favorite editions. For Tech Trends, I'm Olayemi Odunuga. I'll see you next time.